welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstampr. I have a really cool junk journal today to show you, and this one comes with a bonus gift. It is this antique biscuit tin from Peak Friends in London, and it is the sweetest little image. Look at how pretty she is. Somebody over the past 75, 80 years or so has done a little bit of writing. It's very faded, probably will come off, but I didn't want to tamper too much with it. But it fits this junk journal perfectly. So here we go. It's a journal in a tin. A journal in. So this is in about a 102-year-old book, and it was called Peter and Pansy. And you can see here the spine is still all intact, and it's got the original beautiful first plate on it. And I've just added some trim to cover up the title because it is already on the spine, and that way somebody could make this a theme of anything that they would like. So let's take a little journey into this junk journal before I put it in my Etsy shop. And everything inside, as you know, if you follow me, is authentic antique and vintage ephemera. There's nothing commercial in here whatsoever, or printed or digital. So here's the original first little book plate, and this one was presented to Josephine Adams for her diligent attendance, and she won first prize, and that was this book. That was a big deal to get a book as a gift or a prize. And it's got the date down here, December 22nd, 1924. And that original first plate is the exact same as on the cover, so you could actually take that out if you wanted and frame it. It's really quite beautiful, the original first publisher page. And then inside I've got this cute little vintage dictionary page that says honey at the top. And I've included this vintage 1950s bingo card and this great plate from Girls Own Annual from 1913. And just a really great image there. I thought somebody would enjoy as much as I did. Original first page is here. We've got some journaling pages and a vintage ledger sheet. Beautiful color there. And now this is really cool. So this is a double floating pocket. There's pockets on the front and the back. So in this one here, I've got this really cool vintage envelope or glassine envelope that used to come with the negatives inside. So I put a photograph in here, and look at this great 1949 photograph of this happy little family, mom, dad, and a little tyke there. I love it. And I remember these glassine envelopes. My dad still has a bunch of them filled with the original negatives. And this book pocket here is made from an 1800s page, and you can see the rusted staple marks on there, which I've been using all week, and because I love them. And here's just a really cool plate of the English countryside on both there. And then here is one of these fantastic 1959 educational fun books for kids where they match the stickers. Actually, they're pasted in with the proper place in the book. And those ones are all vowels. And then this is just an antique book page that you can journal on because it's blank. And then I've just got that. Look at this cute little children's page. Squirrels and ducks. So yes, I've just got that one paper clipped in there. I've got a little dangle on there. This is from the 1800s on dandelions, and then a great little image over here. This is from a vintage nature book, trees on this particular chapter of the book. Now this is really fun. There's a lot going on here. So this here is also from the early 1800s, and they didn't think, cute little story, and some color in that one too. And I can't, oh yeah, a child has colored that in, which I love. Now look at this 1930s card. This will make you, this will make you as happy as it made me. Look at that, to a sweet little girl on her birthday, the gingham outfit there, the little kitty with the watering can. It is precious. And that's from Aunts Hazel and Uncle Carl. Isn't that great? I love it so much. It's so sweet. I'm actually surprised I'm giving it away, but I can't keep everything. I just can't. And I made this out of a vintage book on budgies and canaries. You can journal on that tag on the back. You can journal on the back of these vintage Monopoly monies. Oh, Laura, I'm tired. So this is from the 1890s, another one of my Guards Watchman's Dial. You can even journal on the back of that. Pocket made out of an early 1900s Birds of America page. Another children's vintage page, journal sheet. This is from the 1800s here, beautiful page. Quite damaged, but I love the way it looks like that. And look at this fun postcard that is early 1900s, and you can actually Google that. And it's just a fabulous little cute, sweet little piece. And then this is earlier than 1930s, actually, a Beatrix Potter. And the owner of this taped it together so it wouldn't fall apart. So I kept it together because they worked so hard at that. And behind here is the vintage Atlas of American Highways. And that's from 1955. And then this is another one of these great, I hope I haven't glued this in by accident, this is a fold out, that's why. Birds of North America book again. And then look at this great 1930s piece here. This is actually from a New York Times newspaper, and it was all about the World's Fair, but this is a pins and needle theater production. And it says, the audience has roared at it all season. And then an advertisement for shoes. I just love it. I think it's fabulous. So I didn't do anything to that. This is a really fun piece of an envelope here. And it's got antique stamps on there. And then, of course, the 1920s Child's Garden of Verses. That's original. It's not a copy or a duplicate. And more here. I just left them alone. And then this is this is the original first chapter page that I turned into a pocket. And that is an 1890s arithmetic page with the antique paper on the back for a nice journaling spot there. And in the pocket here, I've got a couple of fun things. I've got another blank antique page, and I don't know if the camera picks it up, but it's got the seal embossed on it there from the library, which I love, those embossed seals. And this here is very old, and I don't know how old. I can just tell by the way it's typed that it's from probably, an old Underwood typewriter, something like that. And it's a little poem. So I think the new owner of this journal will really like that. But it's early 1900s, that I do know. It's an antique music sheet. Just made a little envelope up there. You can tuck teeny tiny something in there. Vintage bird image here, a vintage playing card. I know it's a funny color, but I like that. And a vintage Trees of America page, a vintage book page, the organ grinder and the monkey, which I see that story an awful lot come up in my book travels. More children's book pages and vintage American maps. And then this is another vintage cover page, inside cover. I love that. Out of doors, so fun journaling on there. And I love this pocket made from an antique book page that says Kind Friends. Stories we can read. Are these just great titles? Now this is from Alice in Wonderland, Look Through the Looking Glass. And then we've got this horse. What's it called? A horse? I've got it here. Oh, Rocking Horsefly. The Rocking Horsefly. I love it. Just very magical and enchanted. This is another early hand-typed piece, research paper. And the research is on 1886, 1940s Theater Arts Magazine page, which has just got the best advertisements in it, 1950s crochet page. And then this is from the 1800s. It's also that front inside cover page. Look at the beautiful flower detail in there. These are so sweet and soft, and they're hard to come across. So lucky owner to have that one. Some vintage crochet here. I've got lots of vintage crochet and lace on here. This is a 1970s party invitation. So definitely vintage. Just a bit of fun there. You can journal inside that as well. Another Alice in Wonderland, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, rubber ducky. Here is a beautiful postcard. It's a postcard with a painted illustration on there. And it is probably, it's 1927, it says here. So I think that's really quite spectacular. And then I've got another plate here, an original plate from the early 1900s. I think this one is from 1906, Philippa. Isn't that beautiful? And you can journal on the back of that one as well. And that's all popped on top of a 1904 English Garden Book page. And here's just another vintage page here for journaling. Great illustration on there. And a 1950s recipe in there. A vintage sewing pattern instruction sheet. And up one pair of stairs from the 50s here. Great little illustrations, rabbit and the gopher. And this here is just beautiful. Look at those scenery pages. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Map of the world here and here. More here, more vintage pattern page. And then this, I just loved this. It was at the back of the book, Book of Luck. I was going to make that into a cover because I thought it was so much fun, but instead it's a journaling sheet. But you can maybe have a lot of fun with that piece. That's from 1904 from Freckles. And this is just, I didn't cover it because I liked the images on both sides. But you can turn it into a little booklet or collage with it, anything you like, or just enjoy it. And one of the last inserts here, and it is pretty special. This is from the 1950s, and it's how to dry flowers and make dry flower arrangements and do weaving. Is that great? I love it. There we go. And that little pocket there. And that brings us to the end. So I hope you love it as much as I loved making it. You can find that at hyperstampr.etsy.com. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Bye for now.